Well, what did we catch here on that little woolly bugger? All right. A little fall fish. How's that? That's pretty good. I think I'm gonna, that was a good splash on that. Yes, sir. Little fall fish. Hey there, this is Daryl from the Jackson Fishing Team, and today we're gonna tie up a fly you could use for brim, you could use for bass, depending on the size. I'm tying it probably in a brim size, maybe a small bass size, in a size 8. And it's a woolly bugger, but I'm calling it the red-headed woolly bugger. And we've got some little changes in that fly, that maybe some new techniques for you. But if you're new to the channel, welcome. And if you're not new and you're a returning person or fly tyer, welcome back. All right, let's take a look at this fly. So this here is the fly we're going to tie. It's what I call the red-headed woolly bugger. And it's basically got a red head and white tail and body. So let's start tying, and we will explain the materials as we go along. On there. So the hook I'm going to use is a Kona streamer stonefly, size 8. And it's good for little streamers. And what's great about these hooks, they're already barbless, so I don't have to debarb them. The thread I'm going to use is some 6/0 in red, and we'll just start that back behind the eye width behind there, or somewhere like that. And we'll take it back to the bend of the hook, right about in there. And I'm going to use some Orvis white woolly bugger Marabou for the tail. Select one out of here. And I'll wet it. And we're going to just keep it about a hook length and length there. And I'm going to tie it right back here. And keeping it on top of the hook. And we'll use that to build up our body. Oh darn, I forgot something. Well, that's not a big thing. I forgot to put some weight on there to get it down a little bit. Let me take care of that. And I'm using .020 lead-free wire. And I'm only going to be putting 10 or 15 wraps on here. Or whatever that was. I wasn't counting. We'll squish that together, and I'll just 5. That's probably around 12. We'll go one more, and then we'll pinch that off right there. And then we'll go ahead and we'll cover that up a little bit here. And we'll put our tail back in. Again, about the hook length. And we're not putting a long tail on these. I primarily use it for, tried this pattern in New Hampshire for perch, but I'm sure it'll work for the bluegill here. We'll go ahead and we'll snip this off. Wrap back here. Next, I'm going to use some red Uniwire, ultra wire in red. Use whatever color you want, but my theme is red and white on this fly. Kind of like a Christmassy fly, but not really. And we'll go ahead and we'll tie in some materials back here. And usually the last material we'll use is what's tied in first. If I remember the rules right, but then again, there's no rules in fly tying. And then the next material will be a hackle. In this case, I'm using some neck hackle white. I don't want one that's too big. That looks like a good one right there. Maybe not. Get rid of the fluff. What I'm going to do is I'm going to tie it in tip first. And our next material will be some ice dub chenille in white. And that'll be for our body. And I have a short piece right here that'll probably work. Oh, a couple short pieces. remove some of the fibers here. Now we'll go ahead and wrap this forward. Trim off that waste right there. And then we'll wrap our hackle. Trim off this stem. And I'm just going to kind of brush through this. Try to work some of them fibers loose. And I kind of flop it out. And then I'm going to counter wrap to secure in that hackle a little bit better. And just I'll wiggle it through. Try not to capture so many materials. And then I'll brush it out again. And then I'll wiggle that loose. If I can get that to break off. And then what I'm going to do now is I'm going to create a small dubbing loop. And if I can find my dubbing loop or my dubbing tool, but I don't think I can, I'll just use, I need to organize better, but I say that all the time. On there. Yeah, there's one there. untangle this mess. I should have prepped my tools before this. And I'll just put that right up here for now. And I'm going to use some tactical SF dub from Folding Mill. That'll be the red head or whatever, it's a dubbing. Yeah. Put some there, add a little bit more. And it doesn't take a lot, because we're just dubbing around to give it a bleeding head, I guess. And we'll kind of brush this out a little bit. And then we'll just wrap it around just to give it a little bit of a hint of red. And we'll give it a whip finish. Five. And then we'll try to clean this up a little bit. There. And there we have it. The little red-headed woolly bugger. And woolly worm, woolly bugger. And we will give it a try for some brim this year. All right, we'll talk to you later about this. Well, I hope you found that interesting. I got one more fly I got to tie for you, and then I'm going to get back into by species type thing. But I'm going to have a rough spring. I've got early and late here in March, I'm going to go shad fishing. So I'm going to tie a series of some new shad flies that I've never used. And maybe you have, and you can tell me if they've been working for you. And then also, just around that same time frame that I'll be going shad fishing, the local Project Healing Waters group here in Charleston area, they're gonna bring back their sunfish challenge to see if we can how many different species of sunfish we can catch, and that's gonna kick off in March. So I'm gonna try to seesaw back and forth between 6 shad flies and 6 brim flies between now and then, and it'll probably be like maybe two a week. That's my goal, and we will see how that works. But if you're involved with Project Healing Waters, you should try this fly that we just tied. It's a great, great, great fly for at least smallmouth bass for me. That fall fish, that was a nice fall fish I caught. And I'm sure it'll work on the brim here in the Charleston area. All right, I'm Daryl. We'll see you on the water. Hey, that little perch wanted it. Almost as big as he is. Well, not really, but let's just see here. Oh, come back here. Maybe a quarter his size.